Hi, my name is Robert. This video is designed to give you step-by-step detailed instructions on completing the task at hand. Please read the comments in the About section of this video. It has valuable information and updates. My YouTube channel has a disclaimer video that I encourage you to watch. And please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you found what you're looking for. Thank you very much for watching. 2012 C70. It's a P1 chassis. We're going to do the CV axle on this passenger side. That thing is wore out. We're going to break the lug nuts loose, put it up on jack stands, take the wheel off, and take the carrier bearing loose. And hopefully that'll be enough room to slide the axle out of the knuckle and then pull it out of the transmission and then swap the replacement in. This thing is wore out. The boots are worn out, the joints are worn out. It's shaking the car violently when you accelerate. It just needs to be replaced, so that's what we're going to do. Let us break the lug nuts loose, put it on jack stand. Pull the nut out of the hub, 13 millimeter. You can see there how torn open this boot was in that CV axle. Next thing I'm going to do is take this tie rod in loose. Let me grab the tool to get that loose. Man, it looks like that thing is split on top. Somebody's taken that thing apart and split it. Took the nut off of there. The tip of it was cracked, so it did chip a little bit of that off. That should go back on. Took a sledgehammer, beat the end of the knuckle. That allowed that to come out. Probably didn't need to take that tie rod in loose, but I did. Now I got the nut off of this ball joint. I'm going to tap that a couple times with the sledge, try to hit the knuckle and not that. Not hit it too hard to do any damage, just to pop it loose. Then pry that down and push the knuckle assembly forward so that I can get the axle to slide out of there. It's got this dust boot on the back of this axle. You don't want to lose that. Gently tap that a few times. It came down and loose. Now I should be able to push it far enough away to get that axle out of there. Then take those carrier nuts loose. They look like 10 millimeters. Taking the bolts out of this carrier bearing, you might want to put a mark on the way this carrier bearing goes in there so you don't get that thing flipped upside down. It holds the carrier bearing a certain way, so that orientation needs to stay the same. So I knocked the dirt off of the top one and I'm taking those 10 millimeter bolts out. I'm getting the lower one with a 1/4 inch. I already broke it loose with a box end, and I got that one loose with a 3/8 inch ratchet. We have the axle out. It helped to have this tie rod in loose, so we're getting ready to go back in with the new one we got from IPD. And this is the old one, the original, and it has some play. Clockwise is where you need no play at. As you can see, it's just gutted, so we hope the new one, the splines fit well. That's the issue with getting aftermarket stuff in. Let us open that thing up, try to get it in. Got that nut on top of that busted tie rod in. It was a little hard getting started, but it finally went on. Then I started putting the nut in the ball joint. Had to get some help. Guys stood on one of these lug nut bolts or something to get this ball joint to pop in. Then when I started tightening that nut, the ball joint started turning, so I put this jack under it to kind of put some stress on the ball joint up in there. Then I was able to tighten that nut. So we got those two tins tightened, this ball joint on this tie rod end tightened, and the ball joint on the control arm tightened. And we're getting ready to put the screw in here and torque it on, and then we'll be good to go. It's got some grease in there, but we're going to torque that to 35 foot-pounds. The bolt had grease on it instead of Loctite. Down in the hole as well. I'm not sure if that was returned like that, but it's okay for those to be on the spline, but not down in the screw hole. So I'm going to get that out, clean it out with brake parts cleaner, put some Loctite on it, and then put that in that way. I sprayed all that grease out of there with brake parts cleaner. Then I put some thread sealant on there. It's better to use thread lock. It had blue on the original one, so that would be good. And then I torqued that thing to 35 foot-pounds. plus 60 degrees. And we're going to put the wheel back on. Torque the wheels to 100. Got the wheel lug nuts torqued on, the centerpiece in. That's all done. Need a test drive. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.